Namaste children. Let us discuss today about the second lecture that is based on the topic acid, base and salts. The first topic of this chapter is properties of the bases in today's lecture. Let me tell you about the properties of the bases. Number 1. They produce the hydroxide ion when they are dissolved in the water. Whenever we take any base and dissolve it in the water, we'll find it is giving out the hydroxide ion. It is also known as hydroxyl ion. Second property of the bases is they are soluble in the water, and the bases those are soluble in the water, they are known as alkalis. Third property, they are bitter in the taste. Already it is informed to you in the previous lecture. And fourth is they turn the red litmus into blue color. Whenever we put one drop of the acid in the litmus, then immediate the red color of the litmus paper will turn into blue color. And next is they act as a electrolyte. Electrolyte means they help to increase the rate of reaction. They help to pass the electric current in a great speed. Another is neutralizing solution to those solutions those are containing the hydrogen ion. Any acid which gives out the hydrogen ion in the water, it will be neutralized by the basic solution. We are aware about the neutralization reaction. When any base is reacting with the acid or acid is reacting with the base, they will nullify the effect of each other, means they will neutralize to each other. That is called the bases are neutralizing to the acids those are containing hydrogen ion. Next property is they are slippery in the touch. Whenever you take the base in between your finger, that is index finger and the thumb, and rub it, you will find it is slippery in the touch. It is also giving soapy feeling. Another is they dissolve the fatty material. Any fatty material which is known to us, if you take and dissolve in the bases, it can be dissolved easily. That is the properties of the bases. Now come to the another thing that is called the classification of the bases on the basis of their strength. Number 1, that is strong base, and number B is weak base. Let me tell you about the strong bases. Strong bases are those bases which completely dissociate into its ions in the aqueous solution. For example, sodium hydroxide, or you can take the example of the potassium hydroxide. Any one of them, if you take and dissolve it in the water, what you will find? You will observe that this base will dissolve completely. It will dissociate completely to give out the maximum number of hydroxyl ions. That is a strong base. Another is weak base. Weak base is just opposite to them. Weak bases are those bases which do not completely dissociate into its ions in aqueous solution. Example, ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide, when you take into the water, dissolve in the water, you will find the hydroxyl ions present here. They will be given out, but the number of hydroxyl ions given out by this sodium hydroxide ammonium hydroxide solution will be very less, means this kind of base is known as weak base. So we can classify these bases into two categories. One is called the strong base, another is the weak base. Now come to the another point of this topic, that is on the basis of their concentration, bases can be classified into how many categories? Here it is mentioned. Number one is dilute base, and second is concentrated bases. What is the dilute base? They have the low concentration of alkalis in the aqueous solution. Means the base which is present in the solution of that particular base, the amount of concentration of the base will be very less to that of the solvent, means the water in which we are going to dissolve the bases. The amount of the base is less to that of the water in which we are going to dissolve, means it is known as dilute base. Second is concentrated base. It has the high concentration of alkali or the base in the aqueous solution, means in the solution of the base the amount of water is less to that of amount of base, means base is more to that of the water which is taken to make the solution of that base. It will be known as concentrated base. So here clear, on the basis of the concentration we can classify them into two categories. One is dilute base, another is concentrated base. Now let us come to the another point, chemical properties of the acids. Number one, reaction of the acids with the metals. Any metal, when you take and react it with the hydrochloric acid or maybe sulfuric acid or maybe the nitric acid, in that case this metal when react with the acid, it will form the salt of that particular metal. It is the salt of the zinc metal, as we have taken here zinc metal, so zinc will produce the zinc chloride. Along with that zinc chloride we'll find here hydrogen gas is also given out. So this is the first basic property of the acids. Number second, that is, take the example of the sodium metal. Here sodium metal is reacting with the sulfuric acid. In the previous case we have seen zinc metal was taken, acid was the hydrochloric acid, but here we are taking a sulfuric acid and metal is taken sodium. So which salt will be produced here? Sodium, and here from sulfate, so it will be sodium sulfate, and same gas will be given out, that is hydrogen gas. So this is another property of the acid, that acids reacts with the metals, or we can say metals are reacting with the acids to give the salt of that metal along with the hydrogen gas. There may be any metal, there may be any acid, but there will be formation of salt of that metal along with the hydrogen gas. This is about the reaction of the acids with the metals. Next is, let us see this figure which is given here, reaction of zinc granules with the dilute sulfuric acid and the testing the hydrogen gas, whether it is hydrogen gas evolved during the chemical reaction of the metals with the acids. Here we have taken one iron stent, and this is the iron stent, this is the delivery tube, it is the boiling tube, and this is the delivery tube. Here we have taken the burning match stick. This is the one of the container in which we have taken the soap solution, and after that the delivery tube is passed into this solution. As soon as we add here some amount of the acid, as mentioned here, dilute sulfuric acid we have to take, and take the zinc granules. Then this zinc granules will react with the sulfuric acid. As a result of that, you will find here bubbles of the hydrogen gas, as it is mentioned here, coming out from the delivery tube and going into the soap solution. And how to test this gas, whether it is hydrogen gas or not? So when you bring the burning match stick or the burning candle near to this soap solution, the bubbles, those are coming out. Immediately you will find these bubbles will be bursting by giving out the which sound? Pop sound will be given out by them. It means the gas produced during this reaction which is taking place between the zinc granules and the dilute sulfuric acid will be hydrogen gas. So this is the procedure how we can test the gas which is evolved during the reaction of the metal with the sulfuric acid, or maybe nitric acid, or it may be the hydrochloric acid. Now let us move to the another topic, that is the reaction of the acids with the metal carbonate. Third is, what is happening here, that these metals carbonates are reacting with the hydrochloric acid. Which acid? Hydrochloric acid. When this metal carbonate is reacting with the hydrochloric acid, it produces salt of that metal, that is sodium chloride, and there will be formation of carbon dioxide as well as water. Here why it happens, this carbon dioxide is produced. Why? We should remember always that any carbonate, maybe the metal carbonate, sodium carbonate, maybe sodium bicarbonate or any other carbonate, in that case immediately you have to confirm that there will be formation of carbon dioxide gas along with the water, and basic thing is there will be formation of salt of that metal, means sodium carbonate. So sodium chloride will be produced as it is reacting with the hydrochloric acid. So chloride from here and sodium from here, it will form sodium chloride, carbon dioxide and water. Here three things will be produced. One is salt, carbon dioxide and water. This is we have to remember when any metal carbonate is reacting with the acids. In that case, metal carbonate will be reacting with the acids and producing salt, carbon dioxide and the water. I think it is clear. Now let us move to the another point. That is when reaction takes place with the sulfuric acid. When it is reacting with the sulfuric acid with the metal carbonate, that is calcium carbonate, then same thing will happen. Here it is calcium carbonate, here sulfuric acid. So calcium ion from here and sulfate ion from here, it will produce calcium sulfate, and carbon dioxide and water will be common in all the chemical reaction when any metallic salt is reacting with the acid, maybe hydrochloric acid, maybe sulfuric acid. Then it will produce salt of that metal and carbon dioxide along with the water. Another thing, when it is reacting with the nitric acid and salt is sodium carbonate, then it is producing sodium nitrate. What is the salt produced here? Sodium nitrate will be produced, and two other things will be common as in the previous reaction. You have seen here in the calcium sulfate, carbon dioxide and water. Here also sodium nitrate and water along with the carbon dioxide gas. So these are the different reaction in which acids are reacting with the metallic carbonates. Now come to the another point, the reaction of the acids with the hydrogen carbonate. We have seen in the previous slide that there is a reaction of acids with the metal carbonate, here hydrogen carbonate. Now in the case of hydrogen carbonate, what will happen? This metal hydrogen carbonate will react with the acid, then it will produce the metal hydrogen carbonate. When it reacts, it will produce the salt, carbon dioxide and water, same as it has taken place in the case of the metal carbonate like the sodium carbonate. When it is reacting with the nitric acid or sulfuric acid or the hydrochloric acid, here also all three things will be produced as we have seen the previous case. So here this sulfuric acid gives sodium sulfate, carbon dioxide gas and water. As it is mentioned here, it is sodium hydrogen carbonate. Sodium hydrogen carbonate reacting with the sulfuric acid, giving the salt, that is the sodium chloride and carbon dioxide as well as water. There is no change. Salt, water and carbon dioxide, whether it is the sodium carbonate, we can say the metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate. In all the cases, these three things are possible. Salt of that metal, carbon dioxide and water. Why carbon dioxide? Because it is carbonate. So carbonate will produce the carbon dioxide. That is the main thing we have to keep in the mind. Now coming to the another point, how to test the carbon dioxide, whether the gas given out during the reaction of the sodium carbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate when it is reacting with the acid. Then at that time we have seen the salt, carbon dioxide and water is produced. How to confirm, how to test it whether the gas produced during that chemical reaction is carbon dioxide gas or any other gas? Then what we have to do? Take the carbon dioxide gas and pass in the lime water, which is known as the calcium hydroxide. At that time we will find there is a formation of calcium carbonate and along with the water. This calcium carbonate, when it is produced, you will find this lime water which is taken by us, it will turn into milky color. It will give which color? Milky color. Why this milky color is given? As it is mentioned here, hydrogen carbonate turns lime water milky. This calcium hydroxide, when reacting with the carbon dioxide, then this will turn the lime water into milky color. This shows that gas is carbon dioxide gas. This happens because of the formation of a white precipitate of the calcium carbonate. This is the precipitate. What is that? Precipitate of calcium carbonate, which is insoluble. It remains in the solution in the form of a precipitate, and because of that this lime water is appearing as in the form of milky color. When we pass it for a long time, then what will happen? This will change the color of this lime water. It will become colorless. Why it will become colorless? As it is mentioned here, this when excess of carbon dioxide is passed through the lime water, it makes milky color of lime water disappear. Means it will not be milky for a long time when we are passing carbon dioxide gas into it. Why it will happen? This calcium hydrogen carbonate will be formed. When this carbon dioxide gas in this solution is passed for a long time, then there is a formation of calcium hydrogen carbonate. It is also known as calcium bicarbonate. When calcium bicarbonate is produced, this lime water, which was milky in color, it will become colorless. Thus the milky color of solution mixture disappears. This is happening when you pass the carbon dioxide for a long time. Next is, what is common in the acid? What is common in the acids? All the acids you might have seen, there is hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, carbonic acid or oxalic acid, formic acid, methanoic acid, ethanoic acid. Different type of name of the acids you might have heard till now. What is common in these acids? Very simple. When you take the any acid here, suppose HNO3. HNO3, what is common here? It is having hydrogen. If you take the H2SO4, here also hydrogen is common. If you take HCl, here also hydrogen is common. So we can say all the acids are having hydrogen in common. That is why when you mix these acids in the water, all the acids are giving hydrogen ions out. This is because of their acidic nature. This hydrogen ion released by them makes them acidic in the nature. So we can say all the acids are having hydrogen ions in common. I think it is clear. Now come to the next point. Here it is shown this diagram to you. In the diagram, what is mentioned here? You have seen the bulb, switch. This is the battery, 6-volt battery, beaker. Nail is also taken, dilute hydrochloric acid. Rubber corks are fixed here at the bottom of this beaker. And after that, these wires are fitted with these electrodes in the form of iron nail, those we have taken here. These are connected with the wires and ultimately with the battery. When you switch on the battery, what you will find? What will be your observation? If in this solution which is taken by us, it is hydrochloric acid, then you will find this bulb will be glowing. Why this bulb will be glowing? What is the reason? This bulb will be glowing because in this bulb, it is glowing because of the presence of hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid is dissociated into hydrogen ion and the chloride ion. Hydrogen ion and chloride ion will be formed. So this hydrogen ion which is produced, it will be making this bulb to glow because these hydrogen ions are the good conductor. Charged particles are only make the electric current to flow through the circuit, because of which this bulb will be glowing. So we can say acids are good conductor of electric current. And another thing you should know about this, if you take this glucose C6H12O6, here you are finding that 12 atom of the hydrogen are present. This hydrogen atom, whether it is making this glucose acidic in the nature, if you take this glucose in this solution here in place of hydrochloric acid, you will find that it is not making this bulb to glow. What is the reason? Because this hydrogen which is present in the 12 atom number, it does not produce hydrogen ion when it is dissolved in the water. It has the hydrogen atom, but this hydrogen ions will not be produced, means it is not acid. When it is not acid, then definitely it will not be able for this glucose to light this bulb. So we can say all the acids are acid, definitely they have the hydrogen, but other compounds, those are having the hydrogen atom, they are not acids. Even they have the hydrogen atom, but we cannot consider them as a acid because they will not be producing hydrogen ions. I think it is clear. So you can take the here glucose, or you can take the alcohol, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, any one of them. But in the case of this hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, this bulb will be glowing. But in the case of glucose and the alcohol, this bulb will not be glowing because they contain hydrogen, but they do not produce hydrogen ion. Now let us move to the next one, that is example. Here you take. What is the example shown here? Hydrochloric acid gives hydrogen ion and chloride ion when it is dissolved in the water. Very simple. This hydrochloric acid, when it is mixed with the water, it will produce the hydrogen ion and the chloride ion. I told you in the previous section, in previous class. Here this hydrogen ion cannot exist independently. That is why I told this hydrogen ion will react with the water and it will be producing what? H3O. What will it produce? H3O, means hydronium ion will be produced. This hydronium ion will be produced. Sometime we can show the hydroxyl ion. This hydrogen ion, not the hydroxyl ion. Hydrogen ion cannot exist independently. That is why it will be mixing with the water and producing hydronium ion in the form of H3O with positive charge on it. And in the same way, you take the example of acetic acid. This acetic acid, when dissolved in the water, it will produce the acetate ion as well as the hydrogen ion. As they are producing hydrogen ion, that is why they are considered as acid. If any other compound is there which contains the hydrogen atom, but it is unable to produce hydrogen ion, then we can say it is not a acid. From these examples, I think it is clear to all of you. Thank you, children. For today, this much. We will meet in the another class. Thank you very much.